Hey there YouTube, France Harper here. It's Monday, June the 3rd, and I have an unboxing for you today. Today we are going to unbox the Tod. This was a Kickstarter. It's a smart beacon. The box it ships in is pretty much this white box. On the front are the shipping labels. Had some tape here, as you could probably tell, that I've cut already. So that being said, pretty non-exciting box. So let's take a look at what is in the box. And there's a whole lot of stuff in the box. So this is a quick start card. Seems simple enough. There are a whole bunch of license keys on here, which is why I partially obscured it. So here's how to apparently install and remove the battery. So I have a couple of these because I have a couple of beacons. Let's just take the rest of those out, like so. Let's see what we have in here. Looks like we've got a couple Tod stickers. I honestly forget which backing level I selected. So here's the first Tod. There's the second and third. So as you can probably tell, even with them in the bubble wrap, I did get multiple different colors. And I'll of course take the bubble wrap off so you can see them better. Here are the batteries, so you do have to install the batteries on your own. It's just a simple CR2032 button battery. So batteries are included, but some assembly required. And we have a little Tod carabiner as well. I don't think the camera's going to focus on that because it might be too shiny for it. So now the box is empty. So let's toss the box aside. And let's see what we can do. Got the bubble wrap one-handed. Let's see, it looks like the bubble wrap is just sealed. So let's see if we can just peel that off easily enough. And sure enough, we can. So here's one of them. This is the black one. It has a little sticker on it with the number because that matches up with the license key. This is what the orange color looks like. And I have wonderful new email. Here are the next ones. This is number 3. This is black with Kickstarter green. It's number 4. This is see-through, so you can see the board a bit in here. Although it looks like it. There we go. So that's what the board looks like, and as you can tell, you do have to put the battery in them. Looks like I went with 2 see-throughs, and then I just went down, I think, the line of what colors looked good. This is, I think it's been maybe like a year or so since I actually backed this, so I totally forget which backer level I did it at on Kickstarter and what I did actually order. And this one is proving to be a little bit tougher since there's only one in here. There we go. So there's that. So I'm gonna cut real quick and or actually, you know what, let's see. How can I open one of these? Did I get rid of the opening instructions? To remove battery, easily use thumb. Let's see. So, well, let's go to the Tod app, see if it shows how to open these, because obviously I'd rather not break these. Okay, it doesn't. So I'm going to set the camera down, figure out how to open, and start back up. So I'll be right back. So these do in fact just spin right off. It was just slightly difficult to do with one hand and the fairly bulky Nix 5 in the other hand. So this is what it looks like with one of these now opened. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus on this. Come on, there we go. So that's what the board looks like. So let's flip that over fairly carefully. That's hardly careful at all. So that's the back side where the battery, of course, needs to go in. The X5 really does a terrible job at close-up shots, or at least with the lens that I have anyway. So I'm fairly certain these all look exactly the same inside. So I'm going to go ahead and crack these all open, put batteries in, and start back up with setting them up. Alright, so I haven't actually finished putting all the batteries in yet, as you can probably tell, but before I did, I figured it might be useful to actually state a thing that I've learned in case you have a Tod or are thinking about getting a Tod that it does not say on the important handling instructions. So the clear one, if you have more than one clear, it's actually a really good idea to look at it and memorize how the board goes back in, because it will make it a lot easier getting it back in if you do in fact take the whole board out. Given that I was able to actually get it in either way, if you do screw it up, it seems like it shouldn't be a big deal, but I actually haven't started setting these up, so I don't know yet. So what I've found is the side that has the number on it, you want to put it so that the logo faces down like that. That makes it really easy to get to the battery and just twist it off. That way it just sits in there nicely. And with the battery, the easy way to put it in is there's 2 feet here, which you might think, oh, 2 feet, let me put it in there and push down. As you can see, it doesn't slide in very easily. However, if you do it the other way, where it rests on the shiny side and then push down, look, I can do that on camera. It's much easier to do it that way. And then, of course, to put the top back on, just simply put it back in and screw. And that does take 2 hands, so unfortunately I can't really show you that on camera, but just thought that might be useful to point out before I finish hooking these all up. Alright, so now I have all the batteries installed in all of these, and if you're wondering why these need a battery, in case you're unfamiliar with the project, what this is it's actually a Bluetooth 4.0 device. This little shiny chip here is the actual Bluetooth antenna, and because it is Bluetooth, that's what you need the battery for. And these are also somewhat programmable as well. So if we go over to our lovely phone over here, I forget if there's a Android app as well, but as you can see, I have, let's see, 4, 5 that it should pick up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like they are all there. So let's just stop scanning for beacons, and let's see what we have here. Login required. Alright, so we have to make an account. So let's see if we can make an account in the app. Looks like we can in fact do that, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. And I'm not going to let you see my email and password. Although I'm sure I've shown my email plenty of other times in other videos. Okay, so it seems like it's made the user, I just hit done, it hasn't told me done, I haven't gotten an email confirmation yet, so let's see if it did in fact do it. And it looks like it has. So now that we're signed in, let's go back to the app. Got all of our lovely beacons communicating again. Let's see what happens if we tap one this time. Alright, so now you do need the license key, as you can tell. So as I did point out, each beacon has a number on it, and each card also has a number on it. And as you can see from here, the beacons aren't exactly numbered on here, so hopefully these aren't actually looking for a specific code. Find out in just a minute if they in fact are. And it seems to not matter. So you have two different things that you can do with your Tod. You can have private access and public access. I believe you can set up thingamadoodah with these that's public, like, oh, anyone that walks into your house or room and sees one of these and gets in range of it can check into your house or whatever. I'm going to guess that's what public does. This doesn't actually come with the user guide. It just tells you to in fact go to the website to get the user guide, which needless to say saves on paper. Since I did glance at the user guide, it's a big user guide, so I can see why they did not include it. But anyway, for now I'm going to go with private access, and let's give it a friendly name. I'm just going to call this number 5, since that's who I activated. Probably change the name later when I think of something more creative. So here we go. So now that I've registered it, as you can see, there's a battery meter for each one. So what do you want to do? Let's show interaction. Well, no interaction is set for the beacon. What if I tap connect? Well, it's connecting to it. And it's connected. And I think you might actually have to set up what your beacons do on the website. So then let's disconnect that. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the rest of these beacons and set up something on the website and see if I can actually get something to kind of show you as to what these can actually do. So be right back. Alright, so unfortunately the banners disappeared, but these numbers are in fact important. Each is in fact actually paired with the license, so since this doesn't tell you which beacon is which, I guess the smart thing to have done was to set them up one by one rather than putting the battery in and them all at the same time. But now I know not to do that. And so, in fact, each Bluetooth MAC address is associated with one of these lovely little beacons, and if you did what I did and put all the batteries in at the same time, you pretty much get to play the guessing game into finding which license goes with what. So, yeah, do the batteries and setup one at a time. Alright, so now that I've gone ahead and finally registered all the beacons, this is the online dashboard from Tod HQ, spelled TODHQ.com. So as you can see, these are all the beacons that I have registered and access. Battery, I guess, would connect up to that and get the actual percentage. I clicked it and it didn't do anything. Edit lets you edit the name. That's where you can choose interactions. This is where you have admins, so you can share beacons across different people. So let's set up some interactions with beacon number 5. So the way it works is you give it a title, give it a URL of something to, well, do, and you set it to public or private. So I'm going to take a look at what you can actually do with these and set some of them up. Alright, so now that I've actually read the user manual in depth, it looks like all you can do right now with the Tod is make an interaction where you specify a URL that it opens when you connect to one, or you can do what's called link, where you connect to one of your Tods, and when it goes out of range you get a little alert on your screen. So that can be useful for, say, you have a bag of money and you want to make sure it doesn't walk off. Drop one of these in there, link to it, and if it walks off, you'll know. So what I've done is I've made one of my beacons set to open a URL, and as you can see, it's a Foursquare URL. What this will do is it will open the Foursquare app on iOS to a specific venue. So the way that works is we go back over to the phone here. So there again are my beacons, and I've done that with number 5. So I tap that, tap show interaction, so it loads it up, and here is the venue page that I've linked to. And now I'm going to go ahead and check myself in on Foursquare to my little startup. So that's what you can do. So that being said, since you can set these to open various URLs, one of the things that you can obviously do is you can use app URLs to have connecting to one open app to various things. So one of the things that they can say that it can be used for in the user manuals, you know, say you're at a museum and you see the Tod sticker. Well, that's supposed to be your indication that, oh hey, there's a Tod around. Let me open up the Tod app, although of course it's showing Foursquare right now since that's what I opened. Open the Tod app, find the Tod, and oh, there it is, and it's called, oh, let's say I'm looking at a piece of art, oh, the Mona Lisa, why the heck not? Place one of these suckers near the Mona Lisa, go to Tod, see a Tod named Mona Lisa, you tap on it and you can open up a web page with like information of it. That's one of the examples they give. So, that being said, it is still very early on in the development of Tod, and there isn't really much that you can do with it right now, or that I can think of. These are all open source and everything, so as you may have noticed when I cracked one of these puppies open, you do have 3 connectors here, so you can actually build these into other various sensors to do other various things and whatnot. But for now, I'm happy with my Foursquare URL. I'm sure I'll think of something more creative later. But for now, that's it. That is the Tod, and a quick look at how to set them up and what you can do with them currently. That's it.